Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a special presentation. But first, I'm Onyx Prime with my co-host here
Hi, I'm Kilobyte.
And I'm Clickbait.
with our special guest Mike Seibert, who is going to talk about Cybfest. Take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm honored to be in the presence of our visitors from Cybertron. I've had the opportunity to interact with some of your kind before. They've hailed from Cyber Toronto and are united by the power of rock. You may have heard of them being on a Cybertronic spree, but
That's great.
but I
We love
They're
them.
wonderful.
They're fabulous.
they are fantastic bots. So I've learned in my time that that Cybertronians can be our friends. So I welcome our new visitors. Thank you so much for taking the time to invite me and to chat with me as I chat about our a little gathering. It's a Cybertronian festival that will be happening in my hometown in the Seattle area in the Pacific Northwest. It's mostly adjacent to an area that may have had in maybe another universe, maybe another timeline, maybe another aspect of another team of robots in disguise here in the Pacific Northwest. But no, we are talking about Cybfest Northwest 2023. That is going to be happening July 8th, 2023, starting at 11 a.m. at the Kent Commons Community Center that is in the city of Kent, Washington, which is about 20 miles. I don't know what the Cybertronian measurement for miles would be, but it's a short distance south of Seattle, which is the home of the iconic Space Needle, which points skyward and is
What's the mileage on that thing?
Does it actually touch space?
let's call it a skyscraper of sorts. It scrapes the sky.
Oh,
It's
I
more
bet
of a
it's a MacGuffin for the Decepticons.
it's more of a beacon. It'd be
A
similar
beacon.
to
A
similar
beacon.
to similar to say like a space bridge terminal might be a way of looking.
Gotcha.
I thought it was used to make giant sweaters.
Yes.
I'll just have to ask Teletron how to get there because that was too many instructions for my processor.
It is a lot. I apologize for the information overload. Overlord. Oh no, I can't.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no!
Oh, hang on now.
I mean, those lips though. but Cybfest Northwest is a gathering of humans who enjoy celebrating the Transformers and the robots in disguise and our Cybertronian friends. It's a unofficial convention, a gathering in the Pacific Northwest by the fans for the fans, and we are actually celebrating our 10th anniversary. This is the 10th time that we've done this this
wow.
particular convention
Wow.
and gathering.
That's awesome.
And we're especially excited. We've added a number of new activities and other cool things. We've asked our fans in the past what they've wanted from a Cybfest, and one of the things that they told us they wanted was T-shirts, very similar to the clothing that I'm wearing now. It's an opportunity to express your excitement about being at a convention or your fandom.
Do they come in truck sizes?
You know, we use a website on the internet called TeePublic, and I would have to double check the sizing on that. I do know that they run rather large, but I don't know if they run full Cybertronian.
Okay, good to know.
So possibly not, but yeah, we've come up with a cool T-shirt design for fans to pick up. One of the other things, and I think this would be especially of interest to actual robots and our Cybertronian friends, is we are welcoming a couple robotics teams. Now,
Ooh.
robots on Earth are a little different than Cybertronian life. These are machines that are put together by human teenagers, generally high school kids. and basically they have a knack for technology and a desire to learn, and they build these different type of robots that are very different than Cybertronians. They are sophisticated, but not in the way that Cybertronian life is sophisticated. So it's they for sophisticated sentient beings such as yourselves, they might seem very rudimentary, but for us humans, they're really very cool. What these human teenagers could come up with. So we're very excited to welcome a couple robotics teams.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
We will also be expanding our dealer space. Now, Cybfest Northwest is mostly a toy dealer trading type of buying show. We like to buy representations of our Cybertronian friends and the Transformers. So many folks will have plastic figures of these characters, and they sell
must have
them.
favorites. I never find ones of me.
A lot of our friends are very popular.
Yeah, and I'm sure that at some point, once your popularity gets out, that folks will be able to pick up representations of you folks as well. But no, we've expanded our dealer room. We had previously occupied half of a gymnasium where people do exercise and play sports and stuff like that. So I believe your kind has visited Cybfest in the past. The space that you will be visiting on July 8th is now twice that size. We've blown out the middle of the wall and expanded it to twice the area. So we have twice the dealers and vendors as well as local artists.
Oh,
and
nice.
So in addition to the toys, there will also be local artists that create drawings and other arts depicting the Transformers and
We love
those
our
favorite
local artists. Always support your local artists.
Absolutely. We're super stoked to welcome several of our returning artists, including a really good friend of mine named Ashley Artley. And she is helping us with the box art and packaging design for our exclusive figure. I mentioned that we were talking about toys earlier, and we have a toy that is exclusive to Cybfest Northwest. It was designed by one of our longtime attendees, Alex, with Blue Forge, and it's a character that I think would resonate with you folks. It's a legendary Cybertronian inventor. The name of this figure is Generation Zero Wheelless Jack, and he's
nice.
That's great.
I hear
Wheeljack would love that.
He's the dad, so he's gonna be excited for Father's Day to like 5 Dinobots, I think, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it is meant to invoke the scientist Wheeljack when we first see him in a biographical representation. The first time we see the character, he's in a Cybertronian car mode, so he has no wheels, hence the name. He just kind of floats. And we're really excited for this exclusive figure.
It looks fantastic.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's terrific. Alex is hand making and hand painting all of these figures.
Wow.
So they will be in very limited quantity. They will be in very high demand. For information on how to get the exclusive figure, you can visit our website, cybfestnw.com. But we're very proud of it. Alex does a terrific job. And I mentioned Ashley's art. She has done a packaging box art representation. So me personally, as you might be able to see in my background here, I like to leave some of my figures in the box in the packaging. That's kind of my collecting sensibility. My friends pick on me and call me a box collector, but that's all right because I enjoy the aesthetic of good packaging. So this box art that Ashley has designed for Alex's figure is really in my sensibility. So it has a really cool figure inside, but also has a really cool box that evokes toys that folks like me collected back in the 1980s, a very long time ago. But it kind of invokes that generation
The good old
style.
days.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago for us. You humans have different lifespans.
Quite so. We'll also be hosting a number of contests, including a trivia contest, where we have multiple brackets and multiple opportunities. There's kids brackets, there's advanced brackets. It's going to be a lot of fun. One of my favorite contests, though, is the transforming contest, where literally people will be given a action figure and they compete how quickly they can change it from their alternate mode back into their root mode, back into robot mode, and back and forth. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's always fun to watch. We'll also have a representation, a guest star, if you will. Bumblebee will be joining us. Yeah, he's a little shy, so he will be only in his vehicle mode because he's still in disguise as a guardian here on Earth. But he will be hanging out in the parking lot for folks to check out. A buddy of mine, Scott, his guardian, his curator, has done a terrific job with customizing Bumblebee's look and aesthetic with all kinds of like cool customizations. No custom faded, but it's it's really terrific, the bond that he and Bumblebee share.
What other special guests are you going to have here at Cybfest?
We are incredibly excited to announce that we will be joined by a voice actor, a veteran voice actor. His name is Paul Eiding, and he has lent voice talent. He's terrific. And he has voiced another iconic Cybertronian scientist that you bots might be familiar with, a bot by the name of Perceptor. And so he's lent his voice to Perceptor. So whenever you hear Perceptor speak, it's Mr. Paul Eiding's voice coming out. Now, Paul is also a prolific voice actor, and also famously has voiced another character in video games. He's part of our Earthbound military in Foxtrot as Colonel Roy Campbell in Metal Gear Solid, guiding Solid Snake along on his adventures as well. So he's a multi-talented person there, but yeah, we're really excited to feature Mr. Eiding as our featured guest, and
I'm excited.
We're really excited. Now, as for me, Mike Seibert, I will be hosting the panel room, which will include a show and tell panel, the trivia contest, a question and answer session with Mr. Paul Eiding. We'll also have raffles. We're also going to have an organizer panel where fans can give us suggestions and ask us questions. And then we're going to have a behind the exclusive panel where Alex and Ashley Artley will talk about kind of their process for the artwork and the creation of our exclusive figure, Generation Zero, Wheelless Jack. That's where I will be. If folks are looking for me, I will be mostly in that panel room, kind of doing some hosting and some moderation. But speaking of the panel room, I also have it on good authority. I've heard a communique from Cybertron Command that I will be also joined by some bots that will be doing a presentation about some of their adventures that they've been having. But the communique was garbled, and I only got parts of it, so I'm not exactly sure of the details. But
that's the thing, Mike. It's a secret. You'll find out as you go. So I guess you should tell everyone to go to find out. If we're not walking around in our Hollow Matters or in our cosplay, we'll be in the panel room.
Absolutely, and incidentally, with you had mentioned cosplay, Cybfest Northwest, and here in the Pacific Northwest in the state of Washington, we are an inclusive space, and we are welcoming of all kinds of cosplay at all times,
Good.
and
Good.
we my our table, our convention, our rooms, our space is a safe space for all, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and everyone has the right to exist.
Yep,
Well
to all are
said.
one.
Not looking
Well
at you,
said. All are
Florida.
one. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the rundown of Cybfest Northwest, and again, that is going to be happening on July 8th, 2023, starting at 11 p.m. and wrapping up right around 5 o'clock. That's at the Kent Commons Community Center in Kent, Washington, 20 short miles south of Seattle. You can find information about all the things I talked about at cybfestnw.com, as well as links to our social media channels. You can also pre-register for the convention, and the advantage of pre-registering as an attendee is that you get into the dealer room an hour early at 10 o'clock, and then you'll have the opportunity to purchase the Generation Zero Wheelless Jack exclusive figure, as well as get in on the best toy deals and selection. So there's definitely an advantage to pre-registering. If you are a dealer or a vendor or even a private collector that's just looking to sell transforming robot toys and adjacent toys as well, we do still have dealer space available. So all that information is available at our website, cybfestnw.com, and the spelling on that is cybfestnw.com. So that's, and again, we're incredibly excited to celebrate our 10th annual convention, and it's going to be a terrific time. It's going to be the best one yet, and so yeah, that's kind of my piece on that. But I did a whole lot of talking there, and I know that my Cybertronian friends are a curious lot. But do you happen to have any questions for me or anything that
Absolutely.
I could clarify for you? Go ahead.
I'm a steam truck forward. I think that's the phrase the humans use. Is steam truck forward?
Something like that. It's
Something like that.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Okay. So my question is, what has been your favorite thing about Cybfest in the past? It's 10 years. I'm assuming you've been there at least most of them. What's your favorite activity, favorite cosplay, or favorite actor you had, or special guests that you, just anything in general? Top tier.
I've had some terrific experiences at Cybfest Northwest. Our first featured voice actor guest was a gentleman named David Kay, who is a voice of a beastly Megatron.
I think I was there for that one.
Yeah,
Leave my heart
and
on that. That was a good time.
and he is an absolute delight, and so I know he helped make a lot of treasured memories for a lot of our fans. As I mentioned before, I love the transforming contest. That's always fun. I love supporting my local artists, and I always make it a point to buy something from everybody. But I just love seeing like rare toys that I wouldn't have been able to find otherwise. But I think the funnest activity is always the raffle. There's always all kinds of like cool items that we have in a raffle, and is towards the end of the show, and you just get like this overwhelming sense of community where everybody is in a relatively small space together, and just the fun that people experience when they win something very cool. We've had some expensive premium toys, all kinds of cool stuff, weird rarities, things like that. So I think the raffle is very, very cool. The show and tell panel was a huge hit last year. We're hoping to have a repeat of that, where people just brought in crazy oddities, because we've been chronicling the adventures of the Transformers for almost 40 years now. So there's a lot of history and a lot of artifacts that us humans have accumulated, and sharing those obscure, hard to find bits with each other is an absolute delight. So those are amongst my favorites, and just friendship and community. We have a very strong fan base and community here in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe it's because we're near a volcano that that may or may not have housed some Cybertronians for a really long time. But no, it's the fans, it's the community that really makes it fun. I mean, all the other stuff that I've talked about is great as well, but it's the fans and the community that's number one for me.
Fantastic, pun intended.
Fantastic. Well, Earthlings, you may not have heard it here first, but you have heard it straight from the zebra. It is a zebra, right? Zebra's mouth? Straight from the zebra's mouth?
I heard it was a zebra.
That was a
zebra.
duck.
Yes, that's close. You're getting closer.
Oh. There's so many Earth creatures.
And
It's
they're all
mouth.
lovely.
It's definitely the
A
frog's
frog.
mouth.
I think
Yeah.
it's the frog's mouth. I think that's correct. And I won't be able to be on Earth at that point in time, but hopefully I can make sure my cyber signal is strong enough and radio in for a little bit.
That would be fantastic.
That'll be fun.
So let's start moving towards the end of the show. Thank you so much for being with us, Mike Cyber. We appreciate you having you on, and maybe we'll be on your show next time.
Yeah. All Cybertronian life is welcome on the Mike Cyber Radio podcast, where I talk about stuff and things, and occasionally transforming robot adjacent stuff. I have also recently launched a new podcast with my buddy Michael Andrews called Two Mikes Too Furious, because we have almost the same name, and we've started a chronicle of other versions of Cybertronian life, going through a documentary series called Transformers Animated. It's a series that I've never watched before, but he is a super fan of, and has considers himself a serial rewatcher. So our podcast,
I thought it was going to be serial killer. I'm like, oh no!
Yeah,
Oh my god!
No.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun Earth media on the Transformers. So we always like to, sometimes every now and then. I don't know about my other co-hosts here, but sometimes
We're enjoying the Earth Sparks.
we'll watch the media that the humans have made about us too, and most of the time it's a good time. Sometimes they mix things up, but it's a good time.
Well, after 40 years of chronicling the lives of our Cybertronian friends, it does get awfully confusing. But I'm delighted that there are new things that I haven't experienced before. So experiencing Transformers Animated for the first time has been a delight. So that's a really fun show that I do also. You can find me on the social medias at Mike Cybert Radio. The spelling on my last name is Seibert. I'm active on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And again, my podcast is Mike Cybert Radio and Two Mikes Too Furious.
So we'll make sure to put all that information, including the convention, in the description for all the listeners to find us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always, we hope you all are staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till all are one.
Till all are one. Make good choices.
Exactly.